let's talk about Shannon Sharpe. It was been reported that that ESPN has decided to fire him. This was just weeks after he settled with the accuser. Remember the $50 million lawsuit. Look, champ, you and I, we talked about this off the air. Had he not settled, had he just won, I think ESPN would have brought him in. But I think given the settlement, I think ESPN didn't want to deal with that. And now Shannon Sharpe is also being sued for something else. So I'm gonna get into that in just a second, but it just seems like it's just going from bad to worse with Shannon Sharpe. He did spoke about the issue on his show Club Shay Shay. He hated the fact that the news was announced, and this was during the time his brother Sterling Sharpe, rightfully so, finally inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He hated that news overshadowed his brother's news of going to the Hall of Fame. Look, I don't know whether regarding the whole Shannon Sharpe thing, I don't know whether he innocent or guilty. We don't know. That's something we'll probably never know. But the fact of the matter is, Shannon Sharpe, he bears responsibility for putting himself in that situation involving the 19 or 20-year-old woman. You always said it, champ. Just because it looks good, that doesn't mean I should try it. Yeah, I always practice what you preach. And Shannon Sharpe put himself in that situation. And like I said, Monique, Cat Williams, the people who were on his show, Club Shay Shay, they warned him. And Shannon Sharpe apparently did not listen. And again, this is another reason why I said about with Jaden Daniels' mother, because a lot of people on social media have given her grief because of being too overprotective with her son. Newsflash, even though at times I do think she needs to let her son live his life, but at the same time, look, that's any mother would do for their son or daughter. And not only that, she's also his agent as well. So she's trying to protect him and make sure that he comes home with the bag, which is 100, 200 something $1,000,000. So she doesn't want to ruin or jeopardize her son's bag. And I can't blame her. I can't knock her for that. But with Shannon Sharpe, again, I'm not going to say he's innocent or guilty. But the fact of the matter is, he has taken a step back. Is his career over? No. He's still doing Nightcap. He's still doing Club Shay Shay. He still has guests. He still has people coming over to his pod. It's still going to be entertaining. ESPN, they're going to struggle because with losing Shannon Sharpe, how are they going to be, particularly when it comes to the NFL or some of the NBA discussions? And when I also look at with Shannon Sharpe, you mentioned this before, champ. Maybe he could join Joy Taylor, since Joy Taylor is no longer at Fox Sports anymore. Remember, they fired her, so she could go back to work with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay or whatever. But the thing is, look, man, with young men and young women, you got to be careful with what you do. You gotta be very careful with what you do. And I hope it's a teaching, learning lesson for all of us. Again, we are not saying Shannon Sharpe is innocent or guilty either, but the fact that he's involved in this situation, considering how much he had left, it's bad. So, and no matter what, his name, anytime when you think of Shannon Sharpe, this is going to be the first thing that comes to mind. So, champ.
Hey, I'm gonna say this before I get into Shannon Sharpe. Young men, listen to the sound of my voice. Listen to the sound of my voice. Just because you have money doesn't mean it's time to go out here and play these lustful games. Because money cannot buy back your good name. Money cannot buy back your dignity. If you lose your job, it can't buy back your job. It can't buy back your credibility, and it cannot buy back your reputation. It can't buy back any of that. So, young men, young women, everybody who listens, stop thinking that money is your gateway to satisfy a lot of your, I will say, heinous ways. Now is not the time. When you get money, you get that bag. Now is not the time for you. It's never the time to do it. But now more than ever, that's not the time to go and play these little lustful games. I cannot stress this enough. When you get a big sum of money, you get a big time job, you get a big time anything, you get a bag. Now is the time to be more responsible than anything, because as you're working hard as you work in order to get your money, there's at least 5 or 6 people working just as hard to get it away from you. So heed my words quickly. Don't think that it's time to fly. It's fine to fly somebody out. Don't think that it's time to let's take somebody on the shopping spree. We gonna bring them back to the telly. None of that. When you get that bag, act responsible, because somebody's out there trying to sue you. Somebody's out there trying to railroad you. Somebody's out there scheming. So don't play yourself. Okay, on to Shannon Sharpe. This is not the first time he's been in a situation like this. Remember, he had to take a leave of absence from CBS.
Point 10.
He was an analyst on CBS back in 2018. He had to take a leave of absence because rumor had it, allegedly, I will say, that he threatened a woman because, some of the same things. So does that validate a lot of other things? Who knows? And although we say a settlement is not an admission to guilt, what did he say when the NFL settled with Colin Kaepernick with that collusion case? In his own words. What did he say when the NFL settled with Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed? In his own words. They always say in his own words, they say in a settlement, it's not an admission to guilt, but you know the reason why people settle. I didn't say it. Hell, he did. Did he not? Or am I tripping? So, with that being said, these are your words, not mine. So when that collusion case came out, you dived on the NFL about that case, which rightfully so. It was collusion. And it was so bad they got another collusion case coming on. We talked about that last night, BRF, with the collusion case. So These are his words. They will tell you that a settlement is not an admission to guilt, but when you decide to settle and you're not fighting for it, then guess what? There has to be some guilt somewhere. Like I said, I didn't say it, he did. Be careful how you choose your words. Because you said it. I didn't. So the thing is, you got caught up in that situation, and I never forget, he said on live television, he said, I remember I got, because I think it was another player or something like that who got caught up in the same situation. And I never forget, he told everybody on national television, I got caught up one time like that and got found innocent. And he said, I never let that happen again. Now you're letting it happen with people that are barely out of their damn teams. What the hell is wrong with you? Like I said, just because you got money, and the thing is, look, I'm gonna say this. And I want you to take my words and put them in your mind and think about what I'm trying to say. You from down south, homie. I'm gonna say that again. You from down south, homie. Do you know the consequences of shit like that you be doing? BRF, you know what I'm talking about. You from Savannah, Georgia. You grew up in the damn 60s. So the last thing that someone your age should be damn doing is doing shit like that. You from down south, you know better. You know way better than that. So, like I said, take my words and do what you will with them. But you from down south, Shannon. You know better than that. You know way better than that. So, don't do stuff like that. I mean, you're 52 years old. You're supposed to set
57.
an example for the younger guys. You're supposed to set an example for the young men coming up. Be a mentor. You can't be a doggone mentor. You out here dating 19-year-old girls. They fresh out of high school. They don't know no better. People are knocking Deion Sanders and him baiting Carucci, but
Last time I checked, Carucci's 37 years old.
Yeah, she my age. That's a full-grown woman. That is a woman. You done been around the block a few times. That girl's 19 years old. She's barely out of her Barbie doll stage.
Shannon robbing the whole cradle.
Exactly. Yes. Trying not to say that, but that's just what it is.
Man.
Come on, Shannon. You number one, you from down south. So you know better. BRF, you know what I'm talking about when I say you from down south. You know better.
Oh, I do.
So, and you grew up in the 60s. You know better than that. Read into that what you will. Number two, you are a grown man and got caught up in the same situation just a few years ago, 2018, from what I'm reading on the article right about now. That's the reason I keep turning my head. It was June the 1st of 2018. That's barely a decade ago. Are you not paying attention to what's going on around you, young man? Well, I can't call you young man. You're an old man now. You're supposed to have wisdom. You're supposed to be smarter than that. You've been around the block. You've gotten caught up in these situations. Why do you keep doing it? Like I said, once you get money, if anything has taught, if I can take this year and take one lesson from this year, one, and say this is the lesson that I've learned from the mistakes of others, is this, because we've seen plenty of examples of it this year alone, just in the last 8 months. And tell me I'm lying. That money and lust do not need to go hand in hand. It do not need to go hand in hand, because you're seeing way too many times where these guys are getting in trouble. They are getting charges pressed on them. They are getting involved with these lawsuits, and they losing a lot of money. They losing a lot of opportunity. They losing their good name. They losing everything. So if you can take any lesson from this year, that should be money and lust shouldn't go hand in hand. If anything, you have to be more careful. You must be more careful.
Well, apparently he hasn't, because right here, Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million after falsely claiming a woman's husband left her over a viral flirting moment with Usher, even though she wasn't married. So my thing is with Champ, you would think with Shannon Sharpe, after what you went through back in 2010 in CBS with the first sexual assault accusation, okay, you were found innocent. Okay, man, I thank God for helping me get through that situation. Ain't no way in hell I'm putting myself in that situation again. And now he did. And to go back to what Shannon Sharpe has said, he's often said money don't change you. Money makes you more than what you already are. Well, in this particular situation, Shannon, what has that made you? More than what you already are. Again, I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, and Champ is not saying the same thing either. However, we're taking Shannon Sharpe at his words. So, Shannon, you have to practice with what you preach. And this is a bad look for Shannon because again, he just had the job from ESPN. Everything was going well, and then here we go again. So, how is Shannon Sharpe going to respond? He still has Nightcap. He still has Club Shay Shay, and I hope it's a lesson. It's just a lesson not only for young men, Champ, but for everyone in general. That just because you have money and just because you have authority doesn't mean you should do these types of things or be involved in these types of things, because sooner or later there will be consequences. And Shannon Sharpe, unfortunately for him, is paying the consequences because now he's out of a job on ESPN, and it's just it keeps getting from bad to worse with him. So I hope for Shannon Sharpe he lands back on his feet elsewhere. He's still going to do Nightcap. He's still going to do Club Shay Shay. But the fact of the matter for him to put himself in this situation is horrible.
Now, they never disclosed his contract, but it's rumored that his salary was with ESPN just to be a part-timer. He was not a full-timer. It was around the 6.5 million range.
A lot of money.
You just lost $6.5 million because of whatever.
Mind you, part-time.
And mind you, this is a part-time job. This is just you going up there every Monday and Tuesday after a football game and saying, hey, and just spewing out what you know, not what you think, but what you know about the game of football, which you are very respected. Look, we can say what we want to, but Shannon made the show Undisputed respectable. And then when he went to ESPN, he made it more watchable again. People was getting tired as hell of Stephen A. Smith. So he made it watchable again. Then they brought on Cam Newton. So you just ruined your bag. You ruined your good name. You ruined yourself. You ruined $6.5 million. Like I said, he gonna land on his feet because he does have Club Shay Shay. But you gotta
and Nightcap.
And Nightcap. But the thing is, you've been banned from 3 major networks. CBS probably can't work there no more. FS1, they bought you out. FS1, they bought you out. So you can't work for Fox no more. ESPN, that was the last place that you probably could have went. Now you can't go there no more. There's rumor that I remember you telling me that I got to give you credit that he may be going to Barstool, but if you're Shannon Sharpe, your personality being what it is, do you really want to go to Barstool? I'm asking that question for myself because Shannon's personality and the way it is and the way he like to speaks out on things, I don't think that will be conducive to him being on Barstool. That's just being real. But I have to be honest with you. You've been let go from 3 networks. CBS, Fox, not ESPN. Out of the 3 I just named, 2 of them was because of all of the other stuff involving all of this SA and all of these allegations. 2 out of 3. So it's time to clean up your act before you will. The thing is, look, we could talk about money or whatever, but the thing is, the only reason why he's not in jail and being brought up on charges is because he does have money to pay. If it would have been anybody else, they'd probably be in jail right about now, especially considering how young that young lady is. He'd be in jail. If we was in the real world, the world that we live in, he'd be in jail.
Just to be clear, champ, this is not yeah, pedophilia or anything like that.
I know, but the thing is,
but I agree with you, champ.
SA allegations, that's serious.
No, absolutely not just SA rape.
Yeah,
rape accusation. Those are very serious. But the thing is with Shannon Sharpe, because of the money, to your point, because of the money, he's able to not deal with that. But the thing is, Shannon, like you said, Shannon should know himself. It's not the first time you've been accused of this stuff before. So why would you get yourself involved in this situation again? Yeah. And you're often so critical of these young players. Heck, even Antonio Brown is even calling you out. And we all know how critical you've been with Antonio Brown.
I mean,
the fact that Antonio Brown is even... No, did you see his IG? Go check it out right now, champ. If you think I'm lying.
I'm stoked to see this. I don't want to see this. I got to see this.
It's probably on his Twitter or his Instagram. But the fact that Antonio Brown is calling you out, given the things that you've said about him, that should tell you something.
Well, the thing is this. This is why I always say this. Be soft and sweet with your words because you might have to eat them later on. And when the only thing that you've given is criticism and a lot of vinegar, and you got to eat vinegar, then, hey, better put some salt on it real quick and try to scarf it down because it's going to get ugly for you. But the thing is, like I said, once you get to a certain age, you know better. There's a lot of stuff that now, that's the reason, a lot of stuff that I see happen around me is the reason I'm in the house at 9 at night. After 9 at night, no more for Mr. Champ. I'm sitting at the house. And ain't nobody coming.
I just sent you it just now.
And ain't nobody coming over here or nothing. So yeah, I mean, you should know better at this point. And my thing is, it's so unfortunate that now it comes out around the time where you really don't need it. And
you see it, huh?
Antonio, you never cease to amaze me, brother. But hey, good message, bad messenger, I would say. But I like I said, man, Shannon, you from down south, you know better. You from down south. You from Savannah. You from Georgia. So just gonna be real, man. Stop. If you were still back in Savannah State, would you have made that mistake? Would you have done that? Probably not. Especially considering the era that you grew up in. The more things change, the more they stay the same, especially in this climate that we're in right about now. And the thing is, people accuse you all the time of being woke, of speaking out about things and saying different things about different social justice issues. A lot of people cannot wait to see you fail when you're speaking about those things, especially given the circumstances. So that's why I say you have to be extremely careful. Millions of dollars, I'm going to just be real. Somebody say, hey, we're finna give everybody $1 million. You know what I'm finna be at night? I'm finna have my behind at the house. Where you at, champ? I'm at the house, at the gym. I ain't going nowhere past 9 o'clock. Unless we out in the pier or something. Nope. I'm sitting right here. Can't nobody accuse you of that when you're in the house by yourself. What they gonna accuse you of? And I got cameras around the house. So what you gonna accuse me of? So it's like when Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp, the thing at the Super Bowl weekend happened. He ended up losing his job with the NFL Network. Yeah, and you ain't heard a peep out of him since. He ain't had to peep out of him since. And remember the 5 things that Warren Sapp told everybody about that Tony Dungy told him, be wary of these things. You know, the top 5 things. So, you know, drugs or guns, driving drunk, alcohol, women who you know too well or not well enough. So, yeah, you got to be careful, man. When you get a bag, when you get money, money is power. And I hate to reiterate that. Money is power, money is influence. And when you get that money, your reach is higher than any average person. With great power comes great responsibility. And the thing is, you got to be careful of what you do and put your money towards. All of this other stuff, look, you don't need to do all of that, because the thing is, somebody gonna tell it. You can have somebody sign as many NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. You can be talking on the phone all you want to. Somebody gonna tell it. You gonna get caught. So the best thing for you to do when you get a bag that big is take your behind somewhere and sit it down and go to work and go home. Make sure you got somebody with you that can vouch for you at all times. Make sure you got somebody.
What have I always told you, champ? The words of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Don't trust nobody. But the thing is, you have to trust somebody. You have to trust at least one person. Somebody got to be in your inner circle you have to have somebody in your inner circle that's going to tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, man, you need to sit your ass down.
But apparently, it's hard to tell that person to sit your ass down when he's the moneymaker.
Hey, I'm going to give you a quote that Prince always tell me. People that advise you should not be on your payroll. You have an older brother. He's not on your payroll. Advisement is not on your payroll. Real friends are not on your payroll. Of course, people are not going to tell you anything when they know that you're the breadwinner. But the thing is, with money comes ego. With money comes everything. But the thing is, it takes that general to understand, hey, man, you the leader. And if they cut off the head, what you think going to happen to the body? What's going to think you going to happen to all of us? Chill. Stop. And plus, I don't want, even if I was a part of somebody's payroll, I don't want you going down no dark path, risking going to jail, going to court, bad publicity. You don't need all of that. Why? Because you want to indulge in some foolishness? No, I don't want that to happen to you. I've seen that happen to too many people. Don't go down the dark side and go down that rabbit hole. You're not gonna find anything but hopelessness.
But the blindest person in the world, champ, is the one who can't see but chooses not to see.
Yeah. But the unfortunate, man, we live in a world. We live in a world now, man, where you got access to everything. And I think Cam Newton said it best. When you got money, you think. I'm gonna rephrase his saying. He said, "Money, no, don't apply to you. No, you think no, don't apply to you, but it applies to everybody. It applies to everybody."
Oh, it certainly does.
And if you don't believe that, look at what's happened in the past 8 months. We've seen more cases. No, I'm not trying to be funny, but the thing is, the past 8 months, and ain't nobody learned from it.
No, but champ, I'm laughing is because everything you're saying is true. Hell, look at our president. You look. I know you don't want to mention his name, but look, it's been 7 months since he's been back at office.
Yeah, not necessarily talking about him, but look, think about.
No, I know you're not mentioning him, but
I'm in hip hop. Certain cases in hip hop.
Yeah, certain cases in hip hop, but at the same time, look, these a lot of problems. But the problem is with a lot of these guys, man, always involved in these types of situations. And you would think, hey, wouldn't you, after hearing this type of story from this certain individual, wouldn't you say, hey, I don't want to be involved in this same situation. I might as well just chill, settle down, just be with my friends, be with people who care for me, who want my best interests.
Like I said, sit down. My thing is probably because I'm old. Look, if you would have gave me $1 million when I was 24 years old, maybe. But I'm 37 years old now. I am a grown man. I am not. Look, you give me millions of dollars in order to talk on here like we be talking every week. Guess what? The minute they call me, hey, Mr. Pryor, what you doing? I'm sitting at the house or at the gym, work at the library, working on my craft, doing something like that. I'm not going to be caught up. And look, when you out past 1 in the morning, ain't nothing open but certain things in liquor stores. So you need to sit down, especially when you get a bag. So when you get that bag, man, sit down somewhere, man. That is not the time to be irresponsible. That is time to be, you need to be, when you got access to stuff that you ain't never had access before in your life, and I've learned this, you have to sit down. You have to. It makes no sense for you to have $5,000 and the first place you go is to the mall. No, sit down. Keep that money. Put it somewhere. Don't be sitting around here trying to call somebody up and do all that foolishness because that money gonna be gone in a minute and they gonna be gone too. And then what you gonna do? Sit down, man. Like I said, you have money. When you get money, man, now it's the time to be more responsible than ever. Now it's the time to be more cautious than ever. Now it's the time to exercise more discernment than ever. It's probably me because I'm a scary person, bro. I'd be scared. Hey, man, you want to go in here? No, I'm good, bro. You scared. I know. I'm gonna go home tonight and I'm gonna sleep well in my bed, not in a cell. So,
Well, I mean, I give you credit, Champ, for exercising a level of discipline because people with that type of money, as you always tell me, Champ, doesn't matter if you're 37, 40 years old. People who are grown, they don't think grown. You've told me that.
yeah, a lot of people don't think grown, but because, like I said, you think that money is gonna be your safe haven, man. But let's just be real, man. God got a way of tapping your behind on your shoulder and knocking you over if need be. So either you can stop, or he can make you stop. So just being real. And the reason I know that, hey, everybody's been in that certain situation where you have to say, hey, I need to take a step back and rethink this whole thing. And sometimes you see other people in those same situations where you say, let me sit back and rethink this thing so I won't get in trouble. There's a lot of times where you have to exercise that discernment. But the thing is, when you have all that money, that is not the time for you to be calling up OF models. That ain't time for you to be going out on the west side, flying nobody out. You need to keep them vultures as far away from you as you can. I'm gonna leave you with this. They say it's lonely at the top. Let's hope by the time you get to the top that the vultures and the snakes are already gone, so it can really be lonely.
Perfectly said. I just hope it's a learning lesson for all of us, Champ. I just hope that, if you and I, when we have this type of money and opportunities, worst case scenario, we don't fumble the bag. We just try to capitalize it as much as possible. So, I just hope it's a learning lesson for everyone.
Only place you're gonna catch me at that I'm gonna be indulging is probably a buffet. But even right about now, I ain't even doing that right about now. I'm at the gym and doing meal prep now. I ain't even doing that right now. Like I said, have some discipline, man. And if you can't control your stomach and among other things, then you definitely need to, like I said, that money is not your safe haven. Life will tap your behind on the shoulder and knock you down.
Well said.